Oh, fudge! Hello everyone, and welcome to Battle Tactics Episode 1, 400 Infantry only versus 800 Khuzaits. This will be a voiceover for one of my battles from my Infantry only run number 14 on twitch.tv/KaiDeezy. I run an almost daily informative stream that focuses on campaign strategies, battle tactics, through a variety of challenge runs. You're all welcome to hang out. My community loves to help everyone and learn at the same time. Alright, let's go. This video is organized into 7 sections, timestamps in the description below. Mods, know your enemy, army comp, battlefield terrain, initial engagement, successive engagements, and a recap. But first, 3 quick notes. The voiceover will not line up with what's going on in this battle because I do want to make sure that the content is organized in a clear and concise manner, and no battle is scripted out clearly and concisely. Number 2, unfortunately, I have the top covered accidentally with a note in my stream, but you can watch the top right kill feed to get a pulse on the tide of the battle. And number 3, I don't use troop icons in battle just to improve immersion a bit. Alright, number 1, mods. I'm running 21 mods, which you can find in the link below under run number 14. The 2 most important mods here are realistic battle with realistic armor and health rebalance 150%. Everyone has an additional 50% health, and armor is more powerful. Know thy enemy. Always make sure to check the opposing army composition on the campaign map before you attack. You can do this by hovering your mouse over the opposing army on the map itself. This information is critical in determining if you should engage in the first place, and what the enemy will do upon hitting the battlefield. Here, we know the Khuzait army has a significant mounted archer unit. In the initial loadout, they have 641 units, and we only have 337. They will spawn an additional 140 troops, and will have an additional 61. In their initial group, 21% or 136 are mounted archers, 28% or 181 are infantry, and finally 51% or 324 of them are foot archers, so they've got a lot of ranged as well as mobile ranged. Use your alt key in the battlefield to check these numbers and to see where they are on the battlefield at all times. Alright, next, army composition and roles. My army is all infantry and is composed of Group 1, 39% or 131 shielded infantry. Group 2 is 9% or 31 tier 1 and tier 2 infantry, mostly unshielded. Usually this group plays a different role, but I haven't fully formed my army yet in this video, and so this just comprises the units I'm trying to level up. Group 3, 23% or 76 skirmishers, and Group 4, 29% or 99 berserkers. My target composition this run is actually 30% shielded infantry for Group 1, which is basically the group that anchors the middle mass of the fighting. Group 2 should be around 15% shielded infantry, and this group is comprised of the quicker infantry, usually the higher level guys, and will play different roles depending on the state of the battle. They can be shifted to the left or to the right to defend a flank if a flank is overwhelmed, or they can be plugged into a hole if Group 1 is breaking. They can also lead the attack on the right ahead of the berserker unit, Group 4, which shields up to lead if the enemy has an exorbitant number of archers. I don't do that here because Group 2 is low leveled without shields. Group 3 is 25% skirmishers. They skirmish with mounted archers coming on the left flank, and then skirmish with the left flank of the enemy before charging in melee. Group 4, 30% berserkers. This group initially is moved to the rear left flank behind Group 3 skirmishers if there is a large mounted archer enemy unit. Otherwise, they're placed on the far right and pushed forward 50 to 100 meters. The berserkers run from right to left to crush the enemy cavalry and rear infantry formation of skirmishers and archers. Now let's get to battlefield terrain. You see here I scan the terrain first to figure out where I need my formations to go. We know that the AI always sends their mounted archers forward ahead of the main army, and mounted archers always attack the left flank, so they may circle counterclockwise while shooting. Because they have a significantly large mounted archer unit, we must prioritize this first. Because we are infantry, we're always looking to form behind obstacles such as trees and hills to break line of sight for the enemy ranged units. On this map, a good location is shift left completely and block their mounted archers from running past. They'll clump up and we'll largely ignore them for now. In this case, there are too many and they would run rampant all over our army, but if there were a smaller unit, I would leave a gap, let them run past us right into our berserkers, who would just slash them down. I do make the mistake in this. Initially, I shift to the right before quickly correcting and shift to the left. I put everyone into loose formation when shifting around the battlefield so that they can move a little bit faster. Alright, the initial engagement. Group 1 shield infantry. I'll move in loose formation 3 deep initially. In this specific instance, I make the mistake of shield walling them prior to infantry engagement. It's actually better to loose formation your shielded infantry to reduce reduce enemy range damage. Infantry will now actually keep their shields up in loose formation when they move, shield wall up when the enemy infantry is approximately 10 meters away, or cavalry are approximately 20 meters away. You can then advance them F1, F4, or charge them F1, F3. I would advance if you're weaker and charge if you're stronger. Advance keeps the group in tighter formation, while charge will disperse the enemy group as they chase after enemy units. Group 2 here are too weak to lead the berserker charge, and so will just attack after the infantry engagement. I'll place them behind my group 1 slightly to the right, and they will move to attack after the berserker group sweeps by. Group 3 are on the left flank and will repel enemy mounted archers. Shield wall this group if you think enemy mounted units will charge through, otherwise loose form them to reduce enemy range efficiency. I actually hide them behind this hill so they don't take much archer fire. The enemy mounted units that do crest the hill will get flattened by their javelins and axes, and the rest will move back, as you do see in the video. After enemy mounted archers are accounted for, I charge this unit and tell them to hold fire to ensure that they engage in melee. If you advance this unit and tell them to hold fire, they will just stand in place and not engage in melee for some odd reason. Hopefully they do fix this at some point. Group 4, I push to the right and forward some, in this case about 20 meters. As I shield wall my group 1 shield infantry, I will advance my berserkers from right to left in loose formation with an advance order. I choose advance over charge because in charge my units will engage every single unit to the death before moving, and this will slow down the advance of this unit. It is actually not important that everyone is killed, but that they interrupt all the range, kill some of them, and force them to run. This reduces enemy range DPS significantly, like absolutely crush their enemy range DPS. Now we get to successive engagements. So these are for battles where troops will respawn, or if they do flee. As you can see here, we crush their initial engagement. They do flee. They have already spawned an additional 140 troops, and they flee back to these spawned troops and reform. Continuing our advance would be a mistake here, and we would lose a lot of troops because we're spread out on the map, and their spawn units are in a very tight formation. So we fall back to original location. There are two main ways to fall back that I use. One is circle formation, and then I click on the location. Circle will improve your formation's cohesion because they move everyone together. They'll run together as they run to the location. This is useful if there's still a lot of fighting on the map and you need them to protect themselves, because in a circle formation, the part of the circle that's facing the enemy still has their shields up. In a loose formation, I'll use this sometimes if there isn't much fighting on the field and I want them to fall back as quickly as possible. While this is faster, you'll sustain more casualties because they turn their backs at the enemy when falling back. As a side note, I don't often use the fallback command because it seems to result in more troop deaths. I'll need to investigate the fallback command more because I don't have much experience with it. I only used it a couple times and I didn't like the results, and so I stopped using it. After successfully falling back, we rinse and repeat our strategy for our initial engagement. However, successive engagements are easier because we've fallen back into formation, while they'll have stretched out their army forward to back, running across the field. Alright, in quick recap, we shift to the left to block the enemy mounted units, then we move berserkers to the right and forward to sweep them right to left in advance order, then charge with a group 2, our weaker infantry units behind them, to clean up. Group 3 skirmishers will continue to skirmish with mounted archers on the left hand side. When there are only a few left, we charge this group and hold fire to make sure they don't stand in place. After the first engagement is broken and the enemy runs to the respawn troops, we fall back with circle formation, then line up in original formations, loose and shield wall. Once we've reformed and the enemy is close, we advance once again, and when the battle is clearly won, we loose form all, charge all to finish them off. Now this is just one way to run a battle. There are so many battlefield tactics, and I'll continue to explore other tactics in future installments of my Battlefield Tactics series. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those comments below, and if you want to, you can also join my Discord. I've got a link for that in the description below. And remember, I stream almost daily at twitch.tv/Kaideezy. Kaydeezy. I'll see you next time.